Hello. I picked up this old, very old hand crank grinding wheel today at a swap meet, and I paid $8.50 for it. It feels like it has a pretty good movement. I don't think it's been oiled in years. It's all rusted up. The wheel is chipped badly. I thought it might be fun to open it up, clean it out, give it some oil, grind away this old rust, and on my lathe turn a new handle for it, and maybe get rid of this wheel and put a buffing wheel on here, because I buff a lot more than I would grind with this, and see what I'll end up with. You want to join me on this journey? If you do, keep your eyes open. I think I'm going to start by loosening these nuts and taking some of these parts off and seeing what I can do in the way of polishing this up. So I used a little WD-40 to break this nut loose. It actually came off pretty easily, and then I had to do a little tapping with this little mallet of mine, and when this came off, it was interesting. It was keyed to fit onto this handle. It's got a lot of rust on here, but I think I can clean this up pretty good. I think I might have lucked out on this because I just had to hold the back side of this with some vice grips, and this, I didn't even use WD-40 on it, and it came loose very easily. So I got right to the end of this, and I needed to use a little coaxing from this driver to pull this off, and now this is coming off. A little bit of rust to take off of there. This is coming off, and this wheel is going bye-bye because it's badly damaged. And then I'll pull this off, and then we'll leave this in place for now and try to get into the guts of this next and see what's going on in there. Well, with wiggling and jerking around, I got this plate to come off, and it's a pretty thick piece of metal. I'm surprised. It looks like about 8-gauge steel, and inside I found the gearbox, and I'm pleasantly surprised to see that none of the teeth are broken off of this one or the top one. So that's great news. The next thing I'm going to do is just try to clean this up a little bit. I'll probably dip it in some gasoline or solvent of some type to get this crud out of here, and then start working on it with a wire brush. You'll notice there's a lot of rust on here, so I'm going to go at it with this steel brush. And I noticed the body of it, I got into the gears, they look good, and this is the outside body. But this is a duplicate, the inside, and I think I'm just going to flip it over and use this better surface because I'm going to spray paint it anyway, so we'll see what happens. Here's where I am after about an hour of sanding and grinding. I've ground this here, and I found, at first I thought this was rust, but this is cast iron, and there's a lot of ripples in the metal that are natural to cast iron. So I have it looking like that, and I'm going to try to spray paint it at this time. The handle I've taken, and I broke this out of it. Actually, the only way I can get it out, it looks like it was compressed in here with just kind of like almost making it like a rivet. They smashed this in. So I cut it off with a grinder, and I'm going to attempt to take a piece of this hardwood, exotic hardwood, and turn a new handle, and we'll see how that comes out. I'm also going to spray paint this with a kind of a metallic black and see what happens. You can see here I just finished drilling this out, and this is the handle I want to duplicate Well, I'm coming close to getting the shape that I want, and I might also put some rings on here just for a decorative purpose. You can see at the end of this handle there's a little indentation where the head of the bolt fits into, so I'm going to try to put one in here right now. I'll go ahead and take this handle off a little bit proud, and then I'll sand it right down to the exact spot I want. And remember, this has got a hole drilled through it, so as I cut through, it's probably going to start hopefully breaking through. There's our hole. Perfect. I'll just sand that off just a little bit. You can take a look here and see I have my duplicate handle a little bit shorter perhaps, just so this can come out proud. I have gold metallic crank, and this is all black metallic, and if you don't like my color choice, it's basically the cans that I had available. I didn't want to spend any money on it, so I'll go ahead and assemble it now and see what it looks like. Well, here is where I have finished up for right now. I have my new handle on here, and I use this gold paint here and some metallic black here. This is all cast iron, so this must be pretty old. I still have the old grinding wheel with a big chip over here, and this needs to be replaced. It is missing the area where you lay your blade down. So I just put a bolt through here. It'll work the same way. I'll give it a spin. And you can see it, the gear system, it's moving really smoothly. I'm getting some vibration for two reasons. One is I have the chip there, and I also don't have the grinding wheel centered. You have to center it right on that axle, where you get a little bit, and I can see a little bit of a wobble, and that wobble will kind of throw it out of balance. So my next job is going to be to find a grinding wheel that I can center, and then I'll have this nice old antique that I brought back to life. I don't know if you enjoy restoring things like this, but as I was working on it, I kept thinking to myself, I wonder who used this, when they bought it, where they lived, what they used it for, who was that person. They're probably long gone by now, but this has a second life, and it was a lot of fun, like working on a puzzle to get it running nice and smoothly again. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.